So Shrikant, in today's episode, I want to talk about some of the top scientific breakthroughs in the last year or so. There have been some amazing things like ChatGPT that you might have heard of.
Of course.
And that we sent Bruce Willis to an asteroid. So
I didn't know about that.
I have picked 8 of them that I would like to talk about.
Okay, I know you love to talk about these things and you can talk and talk and talk and talk about these things, but I'm going to put a condition on it. I have with me a kitchen timer here and I'm going to give you 1 minute to talk about them.
Let's do it. All right.
All right, ready?
Yes.
Ready? Here we go. Start.
Number 8. We successfully deflected an asteroid. Okay, so there are about 1.5 million asteroids in the solar system, and if any one of them, even a teeny tiny one, comes and hits Earth, we will all die.
Yes.
Right? That's what happened to the dinosaurs. So what can we do about it? Well, if you have watched any Hollywood movie, you know what we can do about it. So this year we actually did it. We sent a 500 kg spacecraft. So imagine size of a nano, right? And we crashed it into an asteroid which is roughly 150 meters. So imagine size of a cricket stadium. And this resulted in an asteroid getting deflected, which we measured later. So now, if there is a real asteroid hitting Earth in some day in the future, we know what to do.
Time up. Actually, time up. That was great timing. But that means there are going to be no more Bruce Willis movies.
Well, for many other reasons there would be, but no, then there might be documentaries.
So Bruce Willis's previous movie actually became a documentary now.
Yes.
Wow.
That is what science is, right?
Science following art. This is life imitating art and all of that. So was this asteroid that we deflected, was this a threat?
No. We wanted to know if we can do it. So we just picked a random asteroid, it got unlucky, and we saw if we could deflect it.
Oh, like we call in gully cricket trial ball this was.
Yes.
Achha. So this was, you said about the size of a cricket stadium, 150 meters you said, right?
Yeah.
So if it's a bigger asteroid, then we'll definitely need a bigger car, like not a nano, but maybe...
Yeah, so we'll get there. At least we know that this approach works.
So we were basically testing the physics of it.
Yes.
Nice. Number 8. We deflected an asteroid using a nano car. Well, not a nano car, but something the size or weight of a nano car roughly. Are you ready with the second one?
Yes.
I am ready with this one. On the count of 3, 2, 1, go.
Number 7, new vaccines. So we have invented mRNA vaccines, right? Those are the vaccines that were used by Moderna and Pfizer for COVID.
Yes.
That technique is new. This was the first time it was done successfully, but it's a very good technique which can be used to create vaccines very quickly, and we can create like new versions of vaccines like software releases, right? So we have already started using it.
Okay.
There is a new malaria vaccine out which is supposed to be much more effective than the existing malaria vaccines, and malaria still kills a lot of people.
It does.
So that is promising. And flu, which kills 3 times more people every year than traffic accidents, right? We have a flu vaccine also, which is going to be against all flus, not just like 1 or 2.
This is amazing and well in time as well. Really? No more flu?
Well, we don't know. I mean, right now it has been tested only in rats. And humans will come later, but let's hope so.
I thought we already had the flu vaccine. I remember.
No, so there are 20 different types of flu viruses and they change every year. As a result, we have to create so many different vaccines. And plus, you can't, how many vaccines are you going to give one person, right? You give them 2 vaccines, the other 18 can still infect you, and you have to keep repeating it every year. So from all of these points of view, having a single universal vaccine which just handles all of them would be a huge improvement.
Ooh. So this is just the flu and not the common cold, unfortunately, or is there?
No, common cold is a symptom. It's not a
No, I was thinking more in terms of RSVs and whatnot.
So there is a promising vaccine for that also.
Okay.
And so in general, it has been a good year for vaccines.
It definitely has been a good year for vaccines. Good couple of years for vaccines, as a matter of fact. But what are the odds that viruses will evolve to evade these vaccines? Maybe
it's an arms race, so we'll see.
Interesting. Interesting. Yes. Breakthrough number 7, we have vaccines for malaria and the flu, like one base vaccine. Nice. So time for breakthrough number 6. Are you ready?
Yes.
Let me reset this. And are you ready?
Yes.
Go.
progress towards nuclear fusion. Okay, so we use way too much fossil fuels, and that is the cause of climate change, which is also probably going to kill us all. So the nuclear fusion is a very clean energy source. It is infinite energy source, because what it does is it takes a bunch of hydrogen atoms together, smush them to create helium and give out energy. Pretty much the same thing that happens in the sun. And we have no shortage of hydrogen. The universe is full of it.
Yeah,
right?
That's true.
But until now, nuclear fusion used to be bad, because the amount of energy we put in was more than the amount of energy we got out, which is useless.
Yeah.
Last year, for the first time, we got a little bit more energy out than we put in, right? So like a business that makes a teeny tiny profit for the first time, this is a big milestone. A very long way to go, but finally, first time we're in the positive.
Just about a minute, but I'm going to let him enjoy that little moment because it was nice. But multiple thoughts coming to my mind. Suddenly there are going to be so many balloons floating all around because of the helium generated. Bad joke, I know. I'm sorry. But also B, didn't we already have nuclear power?
Nuclear fission is what we have. And that is the part which gives you radiation and Chernobyl and so on. Well, in fact, reality is that nuclear fission is also pretty safe. But once in a while, there is some sort of an accident because of which it gets a very bad reputation. And most countries, the Janta will not allow them to use nuclear fission. Plus, that is a limited source. I mean, much better than fossil fuel, but still, fusion would be so much more excellent.
Okay, the skeptic in me says, Ruko, it's only a tiny energy profit. No need to jump. No need to call it a breakthrough.
Well, it is a breakthrough. Going from negative to positive is a breakthrough. But yes, there is a long time before it can actually be useful. You're right.
But you're also right that great things have small beginnings. So tiny profit is always a good profit. And number 6.
The first flight was 13 seconds. So, or something like that.
Something like that. We'll figure it out and post a correction on the screen for you or in the show notes for you. Check it out. But I thought we already had good renewable energy options available like solar, like wind.
So solar and wind power are huge improvements in the last 10 years, but they have a problem, and it will always be a problem. You cannot generate solar 24 hours a day.
That's
right.
True.
So which means battery technology will be needed, which has its own problems.
Correct.
Fusion would not have that issue. You can do fusion at any time of the day.
That makes sense. That's number 6. Progress with nuclear fusion. Okay, Naveen, ready with the next breakthrough that you want to talk about?
Yes.
On the count of 3, 2, 1, go.
Number 5. We successfully revived the dead heart of a pig. Okay. So what scientists at Yale have done is that they managed to come up with a technique by which the heart, kidneys, liver and other organs of dead pigs, which have been dead for 1 hour, were revived. Okay. The pigs did not come back to life. We are not there yet.
Okay.
But the organs came back to life and the heart started beating and, there was circulation.
That is so great.
It is, because this is a big deal, because we hope that this technology will allow us to improve human organ transplants, right? Currently, organ transplants are very limited because you can only transplant an organ if, it was taken out of a live person, or at least the heart has to be beating. So usually only brain dead people or people whose heart is going to stop. This technology will allow us to take organs from many more kinds of people. Right?
Yeah, this is okay. 3 seconds over time, about 4 seconds over time, but still, again, fascinating bit of breakthrough news, and I'm floored because. So, tell me, what is the difference between organs coming back to life and people coming back to life? If you manage to revive all organs, doesn't the person come back to life?
An organ is, compared to an entire living organism, which is a very, very, very complex system, by contrast, an organ is much simpler, right? So an organ coming back to life is not the same as
fair, but if you manage to bring all organs back to life, does that mean the dead person can also come back to life?
No. Not happening.
Because if that happened, then immortality would suddenly be on the table, and that is something I'm very interested in, to be very honest.
that is not what we should primarily be interested in. Okay, we should be more interested in simpler things that affect more people, like transplants, of course, but also during a heart attack when blood is not reaching the body, or during a stroke when blood is not reaching a brain.
Correct.
Now we might be able to help those people survive better.
Yeah, that's true. I had such fancy thoughts about people coming back to life, and then my brain went into areas of, if they don't really come back to life, do they come back to life as zombies and whatnot? Matlab, such a brilliant breakthrough, and not so many sci-fi opportunities.
You need to watch less movies. Okay.
Naveen, that's number 4. So Naveen, ready to tell us about the next breakthrough?
Sure.
On the count of 3, 2, 1, go.
Number 4, perennial rice farming. The top crops, food crops of the world, like rice, wheat, corn, we need to plant them every year.
Yes.
Right? Whenever you harvest them, the plant dies and you have to create a new plant for the next year. This is very wasteful, both in terms of time taken, the cost to the farmer, and the impact on the soil. So scientists in China have come up with something called perennial rice, which is your rice you plant just once and it keeps giving you rice every year from the same plant. Right?
Wow.
They've been working on it for a while, but last year they managed to get it working. 2 years ago they planted it. It gave the same quality, quantity of rice in the same cost as regular rice. And then the year after that, it gave again the same quantity and quality of rice, but at much lower cost, because they didn't have to
Plant
do all
everything.
the plowing.
Yeah, farming,
right.
plowing, planting, seeding, one.
In general, if we reduce the cost of making food, that money can be used for a lot of good things, like reducing poverty and improving health and so on.
Way beyond time. But again, wow. We have rice again and again coming, and it is eventually going to decrease the cost of rice. So many things come to mind. Yeah? This is going to screw up. This is going to screw up a lot of people's diets for sure. Matlab, if you get rice for cheap, then everybody's suddenly going to eat a lot of rice, and then you know what happens when you eat lots of rice.
Then the good thing is breakthrough number 3.
Oh, I can't wait to get to breakthrough number 3. But before that, what is the nutritional value of this rice?
Let's get to breakthrough number 3.
But can this also be done with other crops, you think? Like wheat and corn?
Hopefully. I think similar techniques should work. Yeah.
And Naveen seems to be quite excited to get to breakthrough number 3. So we'll get to breakthrough number 3. Okay, so let's get to breakthrough number 3. Naveen, are you ready?
Yes.
So am I. On the count of 3, 2, 1, go.
Number 3, obesity medication. Increasing number of people in the world suffer from obesity, and that causes serious health problems.
It does.
And it's not a simple matter of telling them eat less and exercise more. Okay, some of them have genetic issues and they are not able to reduce the weight. Okay, for the longest time, sci-fi has been talking about, what if there was a pill? And scientists have gone and done just that.
There is a pill?
There is a pill. You eat the pill and your weight reduces. It works in some cases up to 30%. On an average, 10 to 15% weight reduction. Doesn't work for everybody, but it works for about 60-70% of the people who take the medication. And the side effects are not too bad. So that seems very interesting.
Within a minute, and what a fascinating thought. I am actually going to start a business where you give people the rice that we discussed about in the previous breakthrough and the obesity pill as a buy one get one free kind of a deal. Yeah. Imagine the amount of money I'm going to make. I'm going to patent this and nobody steal it from me. I know I said it out loud. I shouldn't have said it out loud. But there have been these pills before, and most of them have been scams.
Exactly. This is not a scam. This is like FDA approved. This is, randomized controlled trials have been done. These are the real deal.
Where can I get this pill?
You can't afford them. They're extremely expensive right now. But you know what happens after some years, these things have a tendency to reduce in cost.
Any idea where they are being stored right now or made? I might take a trip to that country and go visit the facility.
As expected, US. So
yeah. Looks like I might have to do a US
But
soon to figure out.
they guard their medicines
very
well.
very
They have a
strongly.
lot of guns.
No, I'm not going to do it. Please don't. I'll wait for the sale to happen. Like there is of course going to be an Amazon big billion or a Flipkart big billion kind of a sale. I'm pretty sure, and I'll get a good deal on them someday. But won't this cause a reverse effect where people will have bad eating habits eventually?
I don't know. I mean, that effect is already happening, right? People have bad eating habits already. So what are you going to do?
Even worse, I was wondering, but yeah, I see the point. So yeah, that's an interesting breakthrough that you may have missed. A pill to reduce your obesity. Actually, I should say a pill to reduce my obesity. Okay. Super. So next breakthrough ready?
Yes.
On the count of 3, 2, 1, go.
Number 2, the James Webb Space Telescope. Right?
I love this one.
We launched a space telescope which is 100 times more powerful than the last one we had, the Hubble telescope.
Yes.
It is so sensitive that it could detect the heat of a bumblebee at a distance from here to the moon. Okay.
Wow.
It is so sensitive that, at a distance of about 25 miles, it would be able to see the details on a little coin. Right.
Wow.
It is that good. And now it is up there and it is looking at, almost the farthest ends of the universe for us, but not just that. It is also looking back in time, back 13 billion years ago. So it is able to show us formations of galaxies just after the Big Bang. This is going to revolutionize our understanding of the universe in particular and physics, basic physics in general.
Yeah, and this is an optical telescope, which means it is actually looking at things and not just taking in radio waves and
which is
such.
Another tricky part there, right? Because there is a sun up there and the sun can just blind anything. How is it going to look with the sun? So what it has done is it is sitting million miles away from Earth, but it is sitting in Earth's shadow. So the sun doesn't blind it. And plus it has a shield, sort of, sunglasses, the size of a basketball field, which it unfurled after reaching there so that it is protected from the sun and it can look into the universe in darkness.
The size of the basketball field is something that always throws people off because in pictures it doesn't really look that big, but it is actually that big. And we've gone way past the 1 minute mark. I stopped counting because this is a topic that I absolutely love. Astrophysics is my love. So I'm going to let Naveen get away with this one.
But so one more thing you would know is that this has been the most complex space endeavor we have ever had. I mean, there were so many things, so many complicated things going on at the time. There were 100 plus single points of failure. Means that if that one thing had failed, the entire project would be cancelled.
Yeah.
And they all went right.
Basically, if you want like a very basic understanding of this, we got a camera, but we can't take selfies with it. We can take distant photographs with it. So, okay, that's a bad one. But why didn't we do this earlier? What was stopping us from doing this earlier?
Extremely complicated. We just didn't have the technology.
Or the money. Yeah. The money is definitely a factor. But there are meter wave radio telescopes. There are other telescopes on Earth which also do a fairly good job.
So, our atmosphere, which keeps us alive, is also a villain.
Yeah.
Right? It just blocks way too many things. Plus, there is just too much disturbance. Being in space, away from the atmosphere, is a huge benefit. You can see much farther because of that.
And if you want to get an experience of this yourself, at night, just look up at the sky and try and count the visible stars in, say, a pocket of space. And then go to a dark sky spot close to you. And then look up at the same patch of sky and then look at how many stars you can see. That is basically the atmospheric and light pollution affecting your visual perception of the night sky. Very fascinating.
Spoiler alert, there are no dark night spots near you. Right? The nearest one is probably 200 kilometers from your city. So I'm sorry, that's the problem.
You'll have to
solve.
You'll have to make like a night camp plan of it. But if you can, please do it. It is a surreal experience to look up at the sky and see the Milky Way with your own eyes. It's beautiful. It's just
Yes. So here is an example of the difference between our previous photographs using the Hubble Space Telescope and the James Webb Space Telescope. Just look at how much more we are able to see, how much more detail there is.
Yeah. That is one of the most beautiful images of deep sky that you'll ever get to see. These are called pillars of heaven, right?
Yes.
Yeah, these are pillars of heaven. I remember my astrophysics academic background. I still remember them. Ready for the next one? The final breakthrough that you want to talk about, the final breakthrough that people may have missed. I don't know how, but yeah, and this is the big one. This is this is the one that I think everybody is waiting for, and this is the one that Naveen is the most excited to talk about. So you know what? I'm going to start, but then I'm going to ignore this completely because I know he's going to talk and talk and talk and talk about it. Naveen, 3, 2, 1, go.
Number one, generative AI. Okay, AI has just taken over, right?
It has.
5 years ago, the top experts, AI experts in the world, when they predicted things that would happen, 20 years later, most of that has happened last year. Okay, so the two examples I want to take are, one is image generation AI. So you just give a piece of text and the AI will generate a lovely photo or an animated image of it or something like that, right? So somebody asked for Snoop Dobby Dob, which is Snoop Dogg combined with Dobby. And
of Harry Potter universe?
Of Harry Potter, and the image is lovely to see. There is another example, Jason M. Allen created a piece of art with the help of this AI. It's beautiful, you should see it, right? But the one that I like much more is called ChatGPT, right? Which is an AI which can have conversations with us, right? An English text engine, sort of like a text-based Siri or Alexa, but far more intelligent, right?
Okay.
It understands everything you say. It is not dumb, and it is better than Google in some cases, right?
That's high praise.
It can give you summaries of an entire book or an entire field of study or a subfield of it or a subfield of it. You can ask it to explain any topic. You can ask it to explain your homework. You can ask it follow-up questions. All of this it can do. But there are many other uses also, right? Like automatically replying to emails, it could do. There is one example of a person, service provider, whose English is bad, but he uses it to write some broken English, and ChatGPT converts it into good sophisticated English, which he then emails to his clients, right?
Okay.
So, people, software engineers are using it to autocomplete software. You can give it a one-line description of a function and it writes the entire software for you in a language of your choice, right?
Wow.
It can do your homework for you, and even the teacher can use it to generate homework for you. So I expect this to really, really take over a lot of tasks.
I am actually imagining a scammer using ChatGPT to write a very convincing scam email. And I'm imagining the person receiving that scam email using ChatGPT to scam the scammer back.
No, actually, no. Scammers are actually quite intelligent and they're quite capable of writing good emails. They intentionally write bad emails because, the people who don't mind the bad emails are the only ones who get scammed. So that's intentional. You should look it up.
That's a very interesting one. You should definitely look it up. Yeah. We'll post a link to it in the description, in the show notes also. But to me, it sounds like ChatGPT and this generative AI that you spoke about, image generation, is going to cause a lot of loss of jobs. People are going to lose jobs.
Actually, no. We have an entire episode on this. AI usually doesn't take away jobs. What it will do is it will allow the same the same number of people to provide much more services, right? So, this is a complex topic. Watch the other episode.
Yes.
Link is there in the notes. Yeah.
Yes, link in the notes, and also somewhere here we'll try and put an annotation up in case you have switched on annotations. But yeah, me and Naveen, we are on opposite sides of that discussion. So it's definitely a fun episode for you to catch. Do catch it. And this has been the top breakthroughs since the past few years that Naveen wanted to bring to us. Thank you so much.
Yes. Hopefully, we'll do an entire episode on ChatGPT, the way different ways it can be used. Like you have an intern who is very, very knowledgeable and very, very cheap, or a brainstorming partner, an engine to generate ideas, a sounding board to help clarify your thoughts. Imagine Alexa or Siri, but 10 times more intelligent. So
I told you could talk and talk and talk and talk and
yes,
talk and talk.
Yes. ChatGPT has been administered various exams and it has passed them, right? Average score on SAT, it has passed the USMLE, it has passed an MBA exam in, I think, Dartmouth, Wharton. So it is amazing.
I think it was Wharton, I'm not sure. We have to look it up. But talk and talk and talk. Srikanth, Naveen, this is Future IQ.